Folks, back another week. Creative Financing with JB. Outstanding interview we're going to have today. We got a lot to discuss. Want to welcome everyone that's coming on, that's going to join us today. We have the Miss Tracy Palmer, where she's going to tell us all about that good community activity that we should be doing, because it's a lot happening out here, folks. It's a lot going on in our community. It's a lot that we need to know what's happening. And not only do we know, but see how we can help to make it better. See what we can do to reach out to our locals and find out how we can make it a better place for them to live, be safe, make sure they have a decent form of living and everything. And that's where we're going to stem from today, because we see so much stuff is happening today in our community. And we are trying to figure out, how do we navigate through this? What's going to happen next? We see people homeless. We see, and I'm talking about people that we knew, we probably went to school with, church, or some type of relationship we had with them. But we see it happening here. People, mental illness is going on. It's so much happening. And we're going to talk to one of our advocates here that's out there pounding that pavement, doing what she said to do and everything. But Ms. Palmer, just give us a little background about yourself and welcome.
Thank you. And good evening to everyone out there on all the platforms. It is a privilege and a pleasure to be here to interview tonight. I am Tracy Palmer, Pastor Tracy, author Tracy, Amazon's bestseller 3 times. Mother Tracy, wife Tracy, daughter Tracy, sister Tracy, friend Tracy, community advocate Tracy. But I am Tracy, mother of 5, grandmother of my great 8, wow. 6 boys and 2 girls. And then I have 3 daughters and 2 sons. And then, I have my husband also. And I am originally from North Carolina. And I migrated here to Delaware by way of my husband.
Okay. Support.
Yeah. And so I have a ministry, Tracy Palmer Ministries. Also have the People Community Outreach and Human Service Center, which is what happened was everything was just Tracy Palmer Ministries. And so I realized that, dealing with the community, you're dealing with people, personalities, and people are going to be people, and personalities are going to be personalities. And at the end of the day, my name matters.
Right.
So I kind of said, I'm going to try to pull my name back out of the community. It has been hard to do. Because that's what has branded me. That's what people know me by. Right. So I'm just trying to now get people to navigate towards the People Community Outreach and Human Services. And then Tracy Palmer Ministries will only be for ministry strictly. That way I'm in control of that. My name, my character, when I go to speak places and things like that. So it's a little bit about me. I do work for the state of Delaware. I have, even though I do community outreach, I have been in the community for over 25 years. I started out with me and my children doing it. And then once they got older, they was like,
I'm out of here.
You can't make me do this anymore, Mom. Well, we would go and set up at the in front of the Dover Library, and we would fix turkey and cheese, ham and cheese, bologna and cheese, sandwiches. We would do like brown bags of chips, a drink, a fruit, a sandwich. And then my mother would come and she would bring clothes, and we would allow the people that were in need to just go through whatever they needed to go through and take whatever they needed to take. And that's how I started doing this. prior to also, a lifestyle that I came out of with me and my husband. And I myself ended up in a food pantry line
Mm,
when my husband went away. Um,
mm,
and so I'm thinking, and I was watching how people were being talked to, how people
mm.
were being handled, and the people that were supposed to be out to help people and servicing people, they were really malicious with people and how they handle people. And so I said, I think I can do this. And then I began to pray about it, and I just started doing it.
And that's awesome. A lot of our ministries come from stuff that we seen that we want to change
Yeah.
out here in this community, and it's amazing. My mom was a call porter in ministry for years too, and I understand where I ain't going back out there no more. Yeah,
You
but
call me, I'm not answering.
but it's the fact that we have to get back to what we're blessed to go through and what we have went through. And Tracy, what is some of the things that really kept you going? Because it can get depressing. We know we see the same history and things happening. It can be so down and bring our spirit down. What keeps you encouraged to keep pushing on?
What keeps me encouraged is to never forget where I came from.
Mm,
Never forget where I came from. And even though I've had some very hard lessons in life, I take the lesson, but I don't want the experience anymore.
mm,
And I remember a time when I was a rebellious teenager. I was very
mhm,
rebellious. I think I
mhm.
was the worst child my mother had. Matter of fact, I was the worst child my mother had. And so I was very rebellious. But because of my rebellion, now that I look back, I think a lot of things that I experienced and went through could have been prevented. But
Mhm,
because as a female, I was very strong.
mm,
And I had a very strong mentality. My personality was very strong, but it was strong in the wrong ways.
mm.
But I had people that saw something else inside and through all of that, and
Wow.
they didn't give up on me.
Wow. Wow, and that's amazing. And somebody said starting a ministry or an enterprise often involves steep learning curves, of
So,
stuff. So say, what was the most challenging hurdle you faced in the early years of starting your ministries and going out here?
the most challenging things that I faced starting ministry was support.
Mm,
Um, And then once I realized, just ground myself into God,
mm,
ground myself into what God said, ground myself into God's way, God's word, what God's will, and release my own will. And although sometimes I struggle because I'm
mm.
human, and that's another thing, like I'm very, very transparent about me,
Wow.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I struggle. People look at us and they say, "Oh, she's a pastor and she's this and she's that." But what they don't say is, "But she's human."
Right. Right.
She's human, and I don't believe in using, "Oh, I'm a work in progress," because
Mm,
I've been serving the Lord long enough now that
mhm.
I know better.
Right.
So it's a matter now of bringing correction to my corruption, which
Ooh.
whether it's thoughts, whether it's a deed, whatever it is, I have to bring correction sometimes to my own self. And
Mm,
you have to be truthful enough
mm-hmm.
to yourself about yourself.
Mm,
And that's the only way you can do it. And so starting out, people would make promises and people would say, "Oh yeah, that's a great idea." And then people would steal your ideas and call them people would steal your ideas and call them their own. And and then they would look at you like you're the bad guy. And, so I just started grounding myself into the word and reading and praying more and more and more. And, I was going through, again, I was still going through some things. I was going through, some things within myself, some health issues, some mental issues, some healing issues. I was still going through some things, but I wanted to be better. Every day, I look at myself. What did I do today? What did I do yesterday that I can do today better?
Right.
And I say that to myself every single day. And right now, my apostle, I love the ministry because, when you're a strong individual, people sometimes are intimidated.
Yes.
And so therefore, you don't get realness.
Right.
The truth. You
Right.
get a lot of fabricated stuff,
Yeah.
which eventually shows itself down the line.
Yeah. A lot of fluff,
Yeah. A lot of cotton candy.
Yeah. And it's all going here. And we can understand that, on our walk of where we came up and we go through this thing. And, I tell people, I've been in church school until I went to the military, and I had to understand the basis of that with my parents was that I needed the foundation before I started to build the building. because if I didn't have that foundation, the building's going to fall. And when the building fall, it's going to be the pieces. But when the building start breaking by my shortcomings and my things that I happen, it'll have a different form where I can rebuild it back because my foundation is strong based on that. And and I applaud you for that. For it. And somebody asked a question: how do your faith and your personal values shape the daily operations and long-term vision of your ministry?
Because I stay true to myself first.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not true to me, I cannot be true to anyone else. And I have a principle that I stand on. So coming from the streets, you have principles, right?
Mm-hmm.
And some principles you don't cross. Period.
Right.
Period. You don't cross them. So coming into Christ, you have principles. And you have to be truthful. You have to be truthful with God. In order for you to repent, you got to own and accept who you are, why you are, where you are. I can't tell God I'm sorry. I can't. Repentance is an action. I can't go to God and say I'm sorry, but yet, what am I sorry for if I haven't owned what I've done? So I have to truly own what I've done. I have to truly own my behavior. I have to truly own me. Right, wrong, or indifferent. I have to own me. And I have to master a thing with myself first before I can master it with anybody in the community. I have to love me before I can love anybody else. I have to be truthful with me before I can be truthful with anybody else. And that's how I operate. And I sit at a lot of tables and I go a lot of places. And I hear a lot of things and I see a lot of things. And some of the things that I see from some of the people I see them from, it's very disheartening. And I'm saying, how can these same people help me when I'm down on the ground? How can they lift me up? How can they bring me up to a place of healthy, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, if I haven't done it, if they haven't done it with themselves?
That's right. Got to be accountable. And welcome our guests that has entered and stuff, and thank them for tuning in. And Ms. Palmer, that is so. I mean, that is so. Man, it just chilled down my body because when I tell people that, I do lending, I do mortgages, I had failures. from this, and that I don't do this just as a regular job that I applied for. I do this through life experiences,
Mhm.
you know,
Right.
life of
Mhm.
life of really. I learned a lot. My parents built a lot on me, but in the whole realm of this, I had a lot of failures. And so when I share my experiences, I tell people this is not a book I read. This is nothing that
No,
I
this is
found.
lived.
This is live. This is real today.
It's real.
This,
Yeah.
this, this is what happened.
Yeah. This not Cinderella.
Absolutely. And when you overcome those and you tell people about that, my drinking, my functioning drinking while I was performing at a high level with a major company, and people like, wow, he was great. I'm like, no, it was the alcohol that made me seem so great. But when you took that away from me, you didn't get the representative no more. You got the real person, and people start to do that. And Chuck said something right there. In order to grow, you have to have resistance, and that is so true. Man, that's the bread and butter right there. When we
And
grow, we have to have some things.
yes, and resistance is great. Perseverance is great, and resistance is great, because those two I think should be married together. And the
Yes.
thing about resistance is that goes into the foundation,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because you have to resist the temptations.
Oh yes.
You can no longer, I can no longer, like, I'm around people, they do things, they go places that I don't do.
Mm-hmm.
But because I know better, it's not hard for me to resist, because
Mm.
my no is a powerful two-letter word.
Mm.
It's no. If I say no, and I don't care to explain why
Right.
I'm telling you no, because I know what I've lived through. And I too, at a younger age,
Mm-hmm.
was an alcoholic,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to go through the
This.
resisting. Once I came through that whole process, it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't an easy process. So for me to play around with something that God has delivered me from,
Yes.
I have to stand on resistance. Now,
Yes.
sometimes we get in situations, and people will say, well, they made us do it.
Right.
They made us do it. Where's your control?
Right. Right. Right.
And
Right.
that's what I learned about me. And I'm still learning that as I'm sitting here on this screen talking to you.
Mhm.
I'm still learning about that, because I
Yeah.
be having thoughts about people, and
Mhm.
sometimes I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, like, I be wanting to talk to him through my teeth. But
Uh-huh.
then I'm like, I'm learning, God, these people are yours. They're bigger than me. They're people lean. So you handle them. And that's
And
what we have to do. And deal with me too. Deal with me, my personality, deal with some of the thoughts that I have. And anymore, I'm in a place in my life, because I don't know if, you knew, or if, but I am currently dealing with cancer. I have been for
Mhm.
the last 14 years. I was diagnosed in 2020, September the 16th of 2014. And
Mm.
I'm still battling. I'm still going through. It's not as bad right now as it has been in the past, but I still show up for my community.
That's
I
right.
still show up for my people. I still stand on what I say. And if I can't, I make arrangements, because
Mm.
I live for this moment right here.
Mm-hmm.
I live for this moment. I'm not living for in a few minutes. Whatever
Right.
happens right now, that's what we're in. Now, when we get to the next minute, then we'll deal in that minute. And that's
Mhm.
how I've been operating. So when we dealing with people in the community, we have to really, really, really be grounded in our head, what we're going to tolerate and what we're not
Not-
going to
yeah.
tolerate, and how people are going to handle us, who
Right.
we're going to deal with, and what we're not going to deal with.
Right. Right. And that's so important. to do that, and we know that God's blessing you going through that
Oh,
fight you're going through, and He's leading you through that, because it's just going to be a testimony when people think that this should have happened. God's still in the midst here. Somebody asked a question: why do you believe mentorship and community building are so important for emerging leaders?
mentorship, and what was the other one I didn't
And
hear?
community building are
And
so
community
important
building.
for emerging leaders. Why should they be present like that?
Well, they should be present because they never know who's going to be in their presence that's going to need them.
Mm,
You
mm,
never know what the person next to you is going through. You never
mm,
know what the person you're going to encounter. You don't know how many times I've just been in the grocery store.
mm.
Somebody say, Tracy, Tracy. I'm like, yeah, I'm not answering that. And then, yeah, I'm not answering. And
Right.
they'll tap me and they're like, you look like this lady. And I'm like, yeah, you are her. I've been wanting to reach out to you. I have this going on, that going on. Now, again, in all of that emerging mentorship, you still have to
Mhm.
have a boundary,
Right.
because now what I'm going through right now, I have a strong boundary. And my boundary is, if you don't want change in your own situation,
Mhm.
please, I will pray for you.
That's
But you
right.
cannot continue to bring your trash and put it in here and make me your trash dumpster.
Mm,
We
mm.
have to have strong boundaries. And people think, oh, you're being mean. No, 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 no. Boundaries are not mean. Boundaries are safe when
That's right.
they're taken care of properly.
That's right.
So emerging leaders and mentorship, and why they need to be present is because you don't know who needs you. You don't know who needs your story. You don't know who needs to hear what you dealt with and how you dealt with it. You don't know that. They
Mm,
may be sitting in the seat that you just came out of. You
mm.
don't know what people know about you. You just don't know.
And that's important to know. And we're gonna pose this: how would you define servant leadership? How does the differ from the world standard of success?
So there's a marketplace and there's a ministry. That's how. Okay.
Right.
Make that plain and simple. There's marketplace and there's ministry. However,
Blur.
marketplace and ministry need to go together too,
Mm-hmm.
because we
Mm-hmm.
all work.
Mm-hmm.
We all, who those of us that are in ministry,
Mm-hmm.
we do need to have ministry with us in the marketplace sometimes,
Mm.
because ministry can keep you grounded in the marketplace,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
where marketplace can lead you somewhere that you really shouldn't go.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, but you can be successful in both.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They don't have to be separated to be successful. You just have to know that this is ministry and this is marketplace.
That's right. And I think when we have both of those, is one key thing that stands abreast of them all is just humbleness.
Humble, yes.
It's humbleness. Well, if you're in servant leadership, regardless where you're at, you're just humble by
Yeah.
what you have to do out here, and you do it with a good heart, and not boasting. Yo, I was out here helping 100 people. You work
Yeah.
according to the will.
Yeah. And along with the humbleness, again, I stands true on truthfulness,
Mm,
honesty.
mhm.
Can people trust you?
Wow.
Are you demonstrating? Is your demonstration trustworthy? The
Mm,
demonstration of your character and the demonstration of who you are and the demonstration of what you do, is it trustworthy,
mm.
or is it a facade?
That's right.
So again, broken people bleed.
Mm.
And when they are bleeding, who do they bleed out on? They either bleed out on somebody who's trying to help them,
Right.
or they bleed out on anything and everybody around them.
That's
They
right.
really don't have a preference on who they are bleeding out on.
Mm.
And because they are broken and because they are not healed,
Mm-hmm.
then it's hard to try to gain a person's trust when they're in that place. Because
That's
I've seen people that said, look, I don't know how you do it. I don't have time for that. I
right.
don't have time for that. They keep getting themselves in the same situation.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
eventually I do have to tell them, look, listen, when people keep asking me to pray for them, a
Mm-hmm.
young lady in particular, she used to ask me all the time, oh, Pastor Tracy, can you please pray for me? She would call me, and I made myself available to her because I knew, and I told her, I said, look, listen, I said, you have to make sure that you are doing your part.
Mm.
Anything that we do in life concerning ourselves, our
Right.
souls, our everything about us, we
Mm-hmm.
have to participate.
That's right.
We have to participate. And if you're not willing to participate in who you are trying to become or where you are trying to go,
Mm-hmm.
dear sir, dear madam, you cannot use me as your trash dumpster.
Mm.
So then I began to tell her, listen, you pray for yourself, and I'll
Mm.
come into alignment and agreement with what you're praying, if that's what you want your situation to look like.
Wow. Wow.
Because now the accountability is on you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You can no longer say, well, you've been praying and it's not working.
Like it's your fault.
Yeah. Right.
It's
And it's
your
just
fault.
that you keep stepping in the same crap. You see the crap is there, and you're going to keep walking right into it every time.
And people just don't understand that at some point they got to change that direction.
Exactly.
And
And if you change, I tell myself, I remember when I was going through some things, and I said, what does change look like to you? That was the question I asked myself.
mm,
And I didn't have an answer. And I didn't have an answer for a while. And then the Lord spoke to me, and he said, change looks like a person that you needed when you were going through. That's what change looks like.
looks like. Wow. Wow. And that's
Dedication.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
People start stuff and they like, people tell me, you need to stop. You just need to sit down. And
Yeah.
they don't understand going through what I'm going through. I enjoy seeing the smiles on people's faces.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy helping people. People teach me just like I'm teaching people.
That's right.
I'm helping people and people helping me. It's not just a one-way conversation with me. It's not just a one-way street here. We do north and south, east and west.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you can share something with me, and I may never say, but man, you know what? I needed exactly what he just
did. Mm-hmm.
How can I make that work for me?
Me. Mm-hmm.
Just put my own spin on it for myself.
And that's what's so important. As I
And
said,
each one should teach one. Yeah, each one should teach one.
And we got to learn from one another.
Yeah.
And just knowing all that you do, Miss Tracy, that running a demanding ministry or the business can be exhausting. It can be very exhausting, tiring. And I've seen it through my mother when she used to do her little food bank and making clothes and, handing out meals and, people still calling. And I used to be like, why are you still talking to them?
You sound like my people.
What's the matter? And she said, well, everybody still need that time to try to figure some things out. And so how do you maintain your own spiritual and mental and physical health managing this and know that you have to have some time for yourself?
So my thing is, I have people in place.
Mm.
And when it's time for me to become selfish
Mm.
about me, concerning me, I do. I'm
Mm.
not I'm not apologetic about my time for me,
Mm-hmm.
because I one thing I have understood, and it's funny that you asked that, because I just had a conversation with three people. They had nothing to do with each other. And they said to me, and it was in different places, but they each asked the same question, different ways, but the question boiled down to, why did you close the pantry down in Dover?
Mm.
And I began to tell them, well, with the at the time, I had just had, well, I hadn't had it yet. I was preparing for brain surgery, which
Mm.
was in July. It was July 12th of 2024. I had brain surgery. So I said, you know
Mm.
what? I don't want to be consumed with bills over here and this over here and that over. I don't want to be consumed with all of this, laid up in a hospital trying to figure out how people are going to get food and how people are going to do this. Let's just send them to the food bank. I'm a
Mm.
food partner with the food bank anyway. So let's just send them to the food bank. But what I did, I closed down here in Dover because it was a lot of pressure here.
Mm-hmm.
People didn't do what they said they were going to do. And, financially, it was a burden for me for that
Mm-hmm.
location. But
Mm-hmm.
I kept the things that I had, and we just moved up to Wilmington. So we
Mm-hmm.
have the pantry up in Wilmington on Market Street, Market and Gordon Street. And
Mm-hmm.
so, but those guys take care of everything up there. All
Mm.
we have to do is order the food, make sure we have food in there for people to come and get food. I've sat down with them and taught them how to make sure the forms and stuff is filled out. So that's how I manage. I have people in place. Now, even down here, we're still doing stuff down here. We're still in the community down here. We're still, giving, we're still hosting events and things like that. Um, but I had to really get in a place. Once I had the brain surgery, I had to get in a place where my healing was number one. I
Wow.
can't help you. I can't help them. I
Mm-hmm.
can't. I got to help me right now. I need help. So
Mm.
all of my help has to come to me right now.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so, and my team, they was like, well, we're not gonna, they were persistent. They're still persistent. Nope, we're not shutting down. We're not, nope, nope, nope. We're gonna keep you going. We're gonna keep things going. And they do. They
Mm.
do. We have one of the largest Easter egg hunts statewide.
Wow.
Yeah, we usually do anywhere from 20 to the last couple years, we've had about 25,000 eggs on the ground.
Ooh. Wow.
And right now, as I'm sitting here talking to you and telling you, we're ready for Easter next year.
Mm. What a
And
blessing.
yeah, so, I definitely have learned over the years not getting up, running out 8 o'clock at night
Right.
because a mom doesn't have food for her children. I used to, okay, well, I can meet you at 8:30. I can meet you at this time, or I'll meet you when you get off of work. I no longer do that.
Mm.
We have to operate within the business hours.
And that's important.
Yeah. So again, it's about boundaries. Um, but and if someone calls me, I don't turn them away. I always tell them, let me get somebody to reach out to you. So we're
Mm-hmm.
not just dropping people. We're not just aborting people. We're not doing that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We're still helping people, but it's not, you're not dealing directly with me. You're
Hey,
dealing with my team of
team,
people that I
people.
have. Yeah. And a lot of people at first, that was a
A lot.
problem. Well, they just wanted to deal with me. And I'm like, if you need help, you're going to deal with the person that's going to help you. The
That's
person
right.
that's going to bring the resource to you
Mm-hmm.
to see you through the situation you're in.
And
If you don't want the help, then you figure it out,
That's right.
because Tracy Palmer can't help you right now.
That's right. And that is so important, Tracy. I'm glad you said that. And I had to tell myself that I have to set time up for me to
Yeah.
replenish, to rejuvenate,
Mhm.
to motivate, to have that peace
Mhm.
that I need to be able to be that best vessel that while I'm out there helping the folks to deal with that, because we all have, and folks, I'm saying this not out of selfishness, we all need a time in our life where we just set aside to regroup, and we regroup to be beneficial to the people we serve in the community.
Right.
For and we have to take that stance, like Tracy was saying. We have to take that stance if we're going to do it, because we can never be good if we don't take that break, if we don't take that mental health, because God wants us to remove and set ourselves aside for a moment so we can regroup. He can speak through us and to us.
Exactly. I was just getting ready to say that.
And
Exactly.
once he's speaking, that builds upon what you're doing and what you have out here.
Mhm.
And it's a lesson for folks to understand that, hey, I'm being selfish because God's say, hey, come here, Johnny, come here. I need to reiterate some values in you
Mhm.
that you might start losing the way because you're getting a little weary in your well doing,
Yeah.
and and then after that, it becomes a whole problem to what you were doing good starts to turn bad and
Yeah.
troublesome, and now the image that he wants to have out here is not being displayed. And that leads me to my next question is, what is God teaching you in this current season? Tracy, you got so much happening with your different organizations, you got to care for yourself. What is God saying to you right now?
So, in truth and transparency, one of the biggest things that I am really learning and studying on right now, it's me and God, is um, wrath, the seven sins of wrath. I'm really studying them because rage, I'm learning, um, a lot of us, we think we are healed, and
Hmm.
the residue of something happens, and then you think, oh, I thought I was healed from that, but you give a response
That's right.
that is not a godly response.
Mm,
And so, we have to make sure that when we are healing, that we get rid of the residue, because
mm,
sometimes the residue is more dangerous than the actual thing within itself.
amen.
So we have to make sure that our healing is whole. And
Mm,
so right now, God is working and dealing with me in that capacity of my life because people outside of family don't really bother me.
mm-hmm,
But if you hold a place in my heart, if
mm,
you are a trusted person in my life, and
mm-hmm,
you bring hurt to me or someone that's close to me, I have
mm,
a problem with that.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
That's Pastor Tracy saying that. I have a problem with that.
mm-hmm,
Right. And
mm-hmm,
so God is teaching me how to navigate and
mm-hmm.
resist
Right.
some of the temptations that
Mm-hmm.
come with that kind of hurt.
Mm, mm,
In that, my healing, in that, forgiveness has to be whole.
mm-hmm,
And so God is working with me on really getting rid of the residue of what people have done that I said I let it go, but I'm just tolerating it. Now
oh, yeah.
I've compressed it
Mm-hmm.
And now you showed yourself, and now here comes, oh, you done triggered something inside of me,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So God is really dealing with me and working with me, Pastor
Mm-hmm.
Tracy, in
Mm-hmm.
that capacity right now. While I'm still, I go to treatment, I do therapy, I have doctor's appointments 3 days, 4 days a week. I'm traveling up and down the road every day of the week, just about. But when I'm good, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
When I don't want when I don't want any bother, I don't want any bother. And that's my time for me and God to commune together. That's my time
Mm-hmm.
for me to commune with God and ask Him, Lord, what is it that I can do different? Lord, what is it? Show me me. A lot of times, we become leaders
Mm-hmm.
and we forget about who we used to be or what we've done. And
Mm-hmm.
then we look down on everybody else.
Mm.
I
Hallelujah.
I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the
No.
end of the day, I'm human. God knows my heart. And
Mm-hmm.
as a matter of fact, one of my favorite verses is Jeremiah 29 and 11, where
Mm.
it says that, for God know the plans that He has for us,
Yeah.
right? And He declares that. He
Mm-hmm.
declares that, and his plans to prosper us, his
Mm-hmm.
plans for not to harm us, and plans to give us a hope and a future, a good ending. It's things that are good, even though it never said, and God never said that we wouldn't go through things. He said the weapons would form,
Mm.
but they won't prosper. And
Wow.
so when we going through stuff, a lot of times we forget what God said.
Mm-hmm.
When we are broken and we're not healed, sometimes it's hard for us to stand in what God said.
That is true. Amen.
And
Yeah.
so that's where the resistance, the perseverance, that's where all of those things come into play. I'm learning for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Some things I'm learning recently. I'm just learning, like, girl, you still got some things you're dealing with. You thought you
Mm-hmm.
dealt with it, you just compressed that stuff.
That stuff. Yeah.
Because that saying they say, out of sight is out of mind.
Yeah.
It's out
Mhm.
of sight, out of mind for right now. But
That's it.
let it be out of sight. Let it be in sight, and then it crosses your mind.
That's right. That's right.
You don't
And
know what you're gonna get.
mm.
So I'm just, and my thing is I have a passion for women
Mm-hmm.
and I have a passion for girls. I have a passion for all of God's people, but women and females are my target because as a female, I've gone through a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You name it, I've been through it. You name it, I probably did it. Right. And
Mm-hmm.
so, one thing that I did understand,
Mm-hmm.
I'm better than what I'm showing people.
Woo.
One thing I do understand,
Mm-hmm.
God looks at me, He calls me daughter.
Mm.
So
Mm.
I don't have to behave this way. I don't have to do these things. He said, vengeance is mine.
That's right.
So I have to stop vacillating like a double-minded man because that's what that residue will do for you. It'll make
Mm-hmm.
you vacillate. Should I or should I not?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Right. And so when we put God in the center and we just say, Lord, this is all you.
You. That's it.
This is
Put it.
all you. I wash my hands with it and them. I can pray for them,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I got to keep me in a place so that
Mm-hmm.
when you see me, it's pleasing to your eyes and it's
Mm-hmm.
not distasteful to your mouth, God.
Wow. That's it. That is it. And I tell folks, that it took me a lot of years, and I tell men this in our men's group that we need therapy.
Yeah.
We have to heal because we still dealing with some things that we don't even want it to be told. But when we start to work with it and we start to be transparent and we just say, yo, take this away from me. I know I still have it. I know it's still premeditated in my mind.
Right.
And somebody said, and my therapist says, like, that enemy is still bound up in you. The only thing, God is suppressing it so you can get through it and go to the next walk of your life.
And just listen to the word inner me.
Enemy.
Inner me.
That's
Inner me. Inner me, right? So I don't want the inner me to live in me.
me. That's right.
I don't. So therefore, I have to be a better person. I have to strive daily,
Mm-hmm.
intentionally
LA.
to be a better person.
That's it.
And things that I can't control, things that are out of my control, things that, well, not even really control, but things that I can't change.
Mm-hmm.
If it can't be changed by me,
Mm-hmm.
that's another God, that's you again.
That's it.
If it's something that I can change and make things better, then I'll work towards that.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I've learned is we have to stop trying to do things in our own will.
That's right.
We have to, because every time, and I don't know if you read my bio, but every
Mm-hmm.
time that I tried to do things in my own will, it was an epic fail.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was an epic fail. It wasn't until I truly got myself together to say, I got to give my life to Christ,
Mm-hmm.
because I was just I was like vacillating. I was just all over the place. I was
Mm-hmm.
serving God, but I had relationship issues, I had family issues, I had my own issues, you know, trying to raise kids because my husband wasn't here at the time, trying to make sure he was good, trying to take care of the house, trying to do this, trying to do that. It became a lot.
Mm.
And so I had to say, Tracy, you're going to focus on what you got in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
That's you and the kids, family right now, your immediate family. And
Mm-hmm.
everything else will either come together or it will separate.
One of the two.
One or the two.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't let life take you down.
No. Mm-mm.
And even like going through this, cancer is a beast.
Mm.
And there have been days that I have prayed for God to take me, because the pain of going through it was just so intense. But then God spoke to me one day and he said, well, your healing isn't whole because your forgiveness isn't full.
Ooh. Mm.
So I had to deal with that. And I had to go and I had to go and forgive the way he told me to forgive. He said, you have been tolerating people, calling it forgiveness. I don't accept toleration. You have to forgive. What if I just tolerated you?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And then when your eyes close forever, you're not gonna make it. You're gonna miss the mark with toleration.
That's right.
So we have to do things truly the way God says do them.
Yeah, because if we don't, whew. Well, and tell me a little bit about Tracy's House of Hope. Tell us a little bit about that.
So Tracy's House of Hope was and it's no longer the house actually had the house was full of mold, asbestos, and lead.
Wow.
So we had to move immediately and shut it down. But Tracy's House of Hope was a house for women, homeless women, women with children. We would group with them, work with them, provide resources to them, help them. Basic life skills was a big part of Tracy's House of Hope. educating them,
Mhm.
again, trying to help them to heal, doing group activities with them. Um, and again, when the house had to, once they came in to do the inspection and we found that there was all that asbestos, mold, and lead in there, they told me that I could fix it. I'm like, yeah, no,
Mm.
I'm renting this place. And the guy told me, he said, this is going to cost you well over $10,000. I said, yeah, nah, this is
Mm.
not gonna, we'll find some place for these ladies to go. And so we did that. And then I worked with also another agency um, that housed women as well. Dunamis was the name of that organization. I worked with that as a case manager as well. And
Mm.
we would case plan with the ladies and we would stick with them. But one thing I will say about, I don't know how a lot of these places work, but if I was to ever open another one or, become, well, I just became on a board of one of the homeless shelters here in Dover. I'm a board member now of one of the shelters. And, I would like to see us, once we help them
Mhm.
become successful in getting a job, getting a place, saving money, I don't believe we should let people go in 90 days.
Mm.
That's just like the men or the women that's being re-entered into the world that have served 10 to 15 years in prison. How do you expect them to be successful in this society we're living in today?
Right.
When you locked them up, they were probably 19 or 20.
Mm.
So now you're letting them come home and they are 45 and 50.
Mm.
All they know is prison life. They
Mhm.
don't know the way of they don't know the way of living outside of those prison walls. So
Mm.
to have a, I realize that a lot of people that being re-entered, they go straight to parole and probation.
Wow.
And that's a headache. Some of
Mm.
them can't get a job. Some of them don't know how to fill out an application. Parole and probation is not helping them fill out an application.
Mm.
So they need a case manager to at least sit with them for 24 months.
Mm.
36 is a good number, if you ask me, because
Mhm.
by 3 years, they should already have their mindset. They should be in the rhythm of things now. Boom, I know I got to be to work at 8 o'clock. I get off at 4:30. I know I got to do this. I got to do this. It's about helping people get in the rhythm of
Right.
living.
Right.
I can't get in the rhythm of living if I've done 15 years and now I don't even know how to I don't even understand this application.
Mm.
I don't know what some of this stuff on here mean. And then I tell probation and saying, well, did you fill it out? Did you get it turned in? Did you do this? Did you?
Mhm.
I need help.
Oh, right.
Well, then pretty much they tell you to figure it out.
Mm.
Some of them do. Then you got some of them, they do help. And this is just me having conversations with people that has been on my caseload, that has been on probation or parole, and
Mhm.
me walking them through. You don't know how many people I had to advocate with through social services or through the parole and probation office because they just don't know.
Mm. Wow. Tell us about the 5 Gs, Girls and Guys Gathering, Glorifying God Mentor Program.
So that came to me by way of again battling. I was battling. A lot of these ministries, a lot of the stuff that I do came to me by way of me going through something and me myself being in a very dark place and laying here on my couch, laying in my bed in pain, just talking to God. And God
Mhm.
says, hey, there's girls out there that need you. And I'm looking up to the sky like they need me. What about what I need right now? Like, I mean, I talk to God like this, like, they need, like, I'm battling. I just got this diagnosis, and these people telling me I'm going to shortly die. And you're telling me, hey, it's girls and guys out here that need you. And I'm thinking, well, I don't want to be bothered. And it's not that I'm
Right.
thinking, I'm being very vocal. I'm communicating back to him saying, hey, I don't want to be bothered with somebody else's children.
Children.
I don't want this. And he reminded me when I was a girl, when I was a young girl, he said, saved me for such a time as this. Things that could have happened, they didn't happen. I should be doing life in prison right now, but I'm not. I should be dead, but I'm not. Right? And God reminded me that wasn't in vain. That I saved you from these things that you were playing and dibbling and dabbling in. Right. I saved you for this time. This was the time that you are now needed, because these young girls out here today, they don't have parents that are willing to be parents. I have rung the bell 14 times so far. Yeah. And I actually stopped ringing the bell because it became very depressing, because it would come back. It comes back. It go away. It comes back. It go away. It comes back. And then I had a talk with one of my sisters from my church the other day, and she said, you're going to ring the bell again. And this time I want you to ring the bell, because this time this is going to signify that this is the end. So, yeah. But what I was saying about the young girls and everything, we have to make sure that we have a mindset to, yeah, I misbehaved. Yeah, I was a fighter. Yeah, I did this. Yeah, I did that. Yeah, I allow people to do this to me. Yeah. So what did I learn from that your daughter can learn from? Wow. What would I tell my 19-year-old granddaughter right now? The first thing I would tell her is, baby, know your worth. Yeah, that's the first thing. See, here's the thing. We got to keep God in the middle of everything, but everybody is not godly. So we got to be able to reach people where they are. We can't be so holy that we can't come down to their level and then bring them up to our level. Just because we're going down to their level, we don't have to scuff our knees up anymore, because we've already been delivered, and we've already overcome those obstacles. And that's why God wants us to be he wants us to be in a place that we have to be healthy mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, because we have to deal with these children.
That's right.
And we have to deal with children. People keep saying, oh, these kids are out of control. Well, what are we going to do about it?
Right.
What are we doing about it? I just sat at a meeting the other night. I said, look, listen, I hear everything y'all in this room saying, but one thing I don't hear: who's going to go in the home and deal with the parents?
That's right.
Because it's no sense in me bringing Johnnie to 5G and then send him back home and expect for him to hold on to what he gonna hold on to it, because it's gonna be in the back of his head. But he's gonna go back to what he's used to, because it's familiar to him. The dysfunction in the home is familiar. And so we have to deal with the dysfunctional parents first.
That's right.
We have to provide resources for them first.
And make it make sense for it.
Yeah.
And Tracy, man, I want to thank you so much for coming on and inspiring. I'm inspired by the ministry, the movement, and the message, and that we're able to have folks like yourself out here to just be real with people and to reach them where they're at. Folks, and my listening audience right now, I want to just pass on Tracy's phone number. If y'all probably just need that conversation, it's 302-538-0111. 0291, or connect with her on the website at www.tracypalmerministries.com. And just have that. Folks, we're in the ability to change, to reconstruct, build ourselves up so we can be a positive asset out here in this community. Regardless of where you come from, you don't look like what you're going to be through because you're going to overcome those obstacles that sit. And you looking at it, you looking at myself as well as Tracy, we have had some life experiences,
Yeah.
but we have did one thing in trusting God, believe that change is always gonna be the best. And guess what? And walk upright. I tell people right now, the only time you're looking down for somebody, you picking them up. So, so when we do that, keep that in mind. And Tracy, if you have some closing comments for our audience, I want to just thank you again for taking some time out your evening to share with us and to give us some guidance.
I would just say to anyone out there, if you're coming into community work, make sure you are solid. You're not perfect. None of us are perfect. There was only one perfect man.
That's right.
Let's establish that. So let's just make sure that we are solid. Let's make sure that we are honest with ourselves first, that we can be honest with people. People will have more respect for you for your honesty. I'd rather be honest with you than to tell you a lie and have to come back and apologize to you. I love you too, Auntie. I would have to come back and apologize anymore. I really try to keep myself in a position. I try very hard to keep myself in a position where I'm not offending people, because I don't like the word I'm sorry. And I don't like to keep apologizing. For one, I am not sorry. We have to watch our words. Are you really sorry? Are you sorry?
Right.
Because somebody like me would say, you're right, you are sorry.
Right.
So we have to watch our words. Our words have power to them. And we have to make sure that, again, what we want to do with other people, or what we want to see, the change that we want to see first must happen with ourselves. And we must master it with ourselves first. We cannot love, care, help, assist, resource, or anything to anybody until we have learned it for ourselves. The other thing is, I would say to people, don't die in your process. Don't give up easily. Don't let life kick you to the point where you can't get up. I always say, when I was out in the world and I was out in the streets as a female, I knew I could fight, right? But even in that fighting, you had to come up for your second win. When life starts to fight with you, you still got to come up for your second win. Do you know, I said I'm like a cat right about now. I don't exceeded 9 lives, right? I'm still coming up for my breath, and you're right. He never makes a mistake, because Jeremiah 29:11 tells us he already knew. God knows what we're going to go through. So don't give up in your process. Don't die in your process. Don't abort your babies. Your babies can be your books, your restaurant, your ministry, your mentorship. Don't put your hands don't put your babies in the hands of people who cannot handle themselves. Don't allow anyone to abort what God has given you. That's what I would say.
And that's so important. Folks, we thank y'all for tuning in. Remember to like, share, Feel Good Talk, this Creative Financing with JB, another interesting conversation, something that we can empower and grow from. We thank y'all for tuning in tonight, but we will see you next week. Same time, same station, as we work on making ourselves better people. Y'all have a great evening. Good night.